Welcome to a tour of the horses run-in. The run-ins over here in the west pasture, well, it's in the dry lot here, which is in the west pasture, which is right across the street from the house. This is where the horses spend the winter. They get fed from the haymow up there through the Franken feeder, and they have a water heater over there. But this is where they come to get out of the wind. Directly behind this would be west, and directly this way is north. And the prevailing winds in the winter are northwest, coming from that direction. So both horses can get in here and get out of the wind, get out of the rain, get out of the snow. But that's not how horses are. If you've ever owned a horse, you know that sometimes they prefer to stand outside. You know they have shelter, but they'll stand out in the rain. I guess it's how they get a bath, But they'll do it in the winter, too. They do like to get the hell out of sleet and hail and stuff like that. At first, they were afraid to come in here during inclement weather because of the tin ceiling. Makes quite the racket. But anyways, it's constructed as a pole building. These poles go 4 feet into the ground, and they sit on, it's 3 or 4 inch concrete pads down at the bottom. This lumber here is just plain old lumber. It's standard studs. There's nothing special about it, and I designed it so that I got 2 boards out of a 8-foot board. The outer 2 on both sides are treated, as well as these fillers and other stuff. And then I also treated the end grain on these with an extra copper treatment to keep them lasting longer. So with the open side here, when you get wind coming into it, it creates a lot of stress. So it's pretty heavily braced. It's got braces in each corner up there, braces down. It's basically what a pole building would look like, but it's condensed down to this small size. Like in a big pole barn, like the one right there, it would have one of these in the corner and one way at the back end in the corner. But because the corners are right next to the center, you got 2 right together like that. Same thing with the back and the other end, and the same thing with the roof. And this center beam is doubled up 2x6, and you can see I haven't been in here in ages, so I didn't know those were there, but those are barn swallows, which is a good thing. They're a nice bug eater. The electrical is not quite finished on this. Like everything else, it's waiting on other things. But the electricity does come to this. It's just in an extension cord. So we have a light in here, right there. But when all is said and done, when this is complete, it'll have a light there and on the other side, and then it'll have 2 outlets for infrared heaters or possibly fans for extreme weather. And you got your D-rings for tying the horses up. Got 1 on each of the exposed posts. And then the tin, black and blue, like the house. We could not get a matching blue. This is pole barn siding, and that's continuous siding, you know, from a different company. Everybody's got their own damn colors. Here's the electric. It's just UV cable, and it comes out of the ground, spliced up underneath here, and then it's just an extension cord that goes to the shed. I'm going to replace that with a heavier wire and bury the whole thing, but I'm waiting to do the back of the building before I do that. This is designed, you can see that the tin stops short of the top. There's another part to this that will come out and then go down. So this will be a walkway back here, a level walkway. This concrete wall will go there and then return back here. So the horses can walk all the way around it. This is going to move out a bit. I'm not real happy with this, and it's a little too tight for what I want to do here. So the idea is, and I picked this up looking at other buildings. My daughter and I travel the back roads looking at farms and different buildings and stuff, and that's where I got the idea from. The main part of it is what the horses would use the majority of the time, but early in the morning when the sun's beating in here, they'll be able to go in the back here and get out of the sun. It'll also have shade and be completely open. It's just going to have a railing in the back and be completely open to the pasture. So they will have protection from all different directions. When the wind and rain is blasting from the east, which it rarely does, but it does do it, they'll be able to come back here. Then everything that goes up on the roof, the snow, the rain, everything will drain and then drop completely out of the dry lot into the pasture here. The whole idea of having a dry lot is to keep it dry. And unfortunately, that doesn't really happen here. This needs some grading, and it needs, we really need a front-end loader so that we can clean stuff up. We do everything by hand right now, and it's just a massive amount of work. Yeah, and the reason for that is that, you know, whenever land comes up, we just buy it. So we're land rich but machinery poor right now. But that'll change. We've got a little bit of wind. That'll change. Once we're done buying land, there's another chunk that we might want to get that is possible that we can get. Then we can get the machinery we need, or possibly sooner. There's a loader they make for the Ferguson that might do the trick for us. We just need something to move poop around, and firewood and stuff like that. I mean, the Gator has a dump bed, and it works for moving stuff around, but it doesn't pick it up for you, and it will not scrape up this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the drawing for this, or it's not actually a drawing. Well, there's a drawing and there's a 3D model in Autodesk Inventor. I'll pull that up on the computer and I'll tape that, and I'll go through. You'll be able to see, you know, what's behind the walls and all that other stuff on the model. Some of the stuff won't be on there. I don't know if I modeled these shelves here. This was kind of a last minute thing. I said, well, you know, a cat could get stuck in there, but you really need a place to put stuff in here when you're working on the horses. They put the products up on the ledge and stuff like that. So I'll pull this up on the computer and explain the rest from there. Well, before that, I should point out that it does have electricity all the way around as well. I have no real use for it other than having electricity down here. That way I can run my saw down here if I'm working down here. And like if you had a sick horse and the vet needed electricity, whatever the case may be, it's always nice to have electricity whenever you build a new building, and if that's ever used for anything else. We'll be building a stairway right here a little later in the year, so I'll be using that electricity for that, but I do have electricity right there as well. Okay, let's head over to the computer and check out the 3D model for this.
And here it is. And you can see all the parts over here. Pretty much every board was designed in advance, and there was exact dimensions for each one, for the cuts, for the length, everything. So this back part here, at some point, yeah, this design isn't quite complete yet. I stopped working on it when I stopped working on the shed itself. So I'll have to put a rail in here and some more structure up top. But that's it. I'll show you a lot more of the 3D engineering stuff, 3D design stuff in future videos. I'll be designing and building quite a bit of stuff. That's where the design part of Homestead by Design comes from. I also have a little bit of video that shows me putting these are 1.75 inch, there's two of them there, 1.75 inch by 14 by 20 feet, or 18 feet, I believe. I have some video from a camera. It's not high quality, but it shows me putting these in place by myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. What does that weigh, do you think?
100 something.
That's 20 feet and the run-in is 18 feet?
Yeah, this is 8.
Time-lapse are our friends. So hot. Oh my god. Oh my god, be careful. Woo! Now do you have to cut off both ends? Or can you scooch it over?
Scooch it over and cut off one end.
Pretty interesting. Alright, hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell, which is the update button, and that'll let you know when we upload new videos. And have yourself a great day.